2 seconds left. It's going to come down.
We're making a third as he looks up. Making up, finds the drop. 3. Stunning here from...
Welcome back, everybody. Again, bit of an extended break, but we have round 1 done. Now we're getting into round number 2, or technically round number 6, if you're counting yesterday as well. Link's joined by Benny. And Benny, we got a second team. The second team I mentioned that I wanted to see, we're seeing it. Team Gusic, we're going to have him on stream. They're going up against Shadowrum, who just nabbed a pretty solid victory.
Yeah, those are solid 7-3 against Outlast, and yeah, it's just they were looking great in that team. We're going against Gusic though. Gusic's been one of the top teams, right below Surf, because Surf's been dominantly taking every single game.
They're only flawless team now, by the way. Surf is up 5-0. Every other team has lost at least one game, but they're not playing right now. I wanted to pick this game, Benny, because I'm gonna be honest. Gusic has been generating a lot of talk. About 20 minutes ago, JJ tweeted, I think, let me pull the exact tweet. Gusic different. I can't confirm. Well, now we're all going to confirm if that's true or not, because they're finally playing on stream. You can see the team Ant, Vax, Unlimited, Gnar, Teddy. We saw the final round where they beat Wichita Wolves Academy. I gotta say, they can beat a very, I'd say well-rounded team in Wichita Wolves Academy. Gotta have something in store against Shadowrum.
Ooh, yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see what we go to. But yeah, we already know Shadowrum, Millie, Sheba, Jolt not done yet in Kama. You saw them play last game against Outlast and looking pretty good. So it should be an exciting game. Two, I would say no-name players or no-name teams, but two teams who haven't quite yet proved themselves are looking to go head-to-head on Villa.
Well, certainly again, another map that I said we can expect a lot from. Pardon me, gotta grab my pen off the floor. Off my desk again. I always do that. I don't know how it keeps happening, but this is a map I said we'd see. Clubhouse, Villa, very default maps that are perfect for qualifiers, but you're not trying to show much, and you're just trying to play your game, because when you're in this kind of setting, I think, Benny, you can agree, you don't need to do anything crazy. If you just run defaults and you got good mechanical skill, you can best out a lot of these teams, and maybe it's why Gusic is on top. Who knows? We'll see right now. They did also just play Villa against Wichita Wolves, so going into this, they have a pretty solid warm-up in the exact same map they're about to play on.
I definitely agree. Yeah, I think there's a tweet by Whitlock. If you know Whitlock in the scene.
That's what I was referring to. Yes.
Yeah. Whitlock's tweet saying that just not so much defaults, but just stick to the basics. Play your game. Do the normal things. Play Comp Siege. Don't do anything crazy. Don't be hero plays. Don't be trying to make crazy things on stream. Just because you're being streamed doesn't mean you have to play anything different than usually how you play. Just make sure you're there to win. That's the point here. You're trying to get the close qualifiers. Trying to make it to the next step.
And both these teams right now have amassed a pretty solid record for themselves, both up 4-1, I do believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if they lose a game here, it's still not the worst thing in the world. They'll go down 4-2, still a solid record, better than most teams, certainly. But whoever goes or gets this one, they'll continue staying in that top tier alongside teams like Surf, like Mystic, who, whether they're 5-0 or 4-1, are seeming to be pretty solid contenders and almost all but certain to make our close qualifiers. Maybe not mathematically, but certainly in terms of how they've been playing. If either Gusic or Shadowrum can secure that spot, it would be very impressive. And honestly, Benny, based on the reputation that we have just heard from Gusic, the rumblings on Twitter, I think Shadowrum might be the underdogs, and we've seen them play. We don't know what Gusic has in store.
Also, we haven't heard a lot of Shadowrum's games so far. We haven't heard a lot about their wins or their reputation. We've heard Gusic though. Gusic's been talked about starting to come more and more into the light as we go along into this qualifier. So yeah, I would definitely agree. It seems like Shadowrum may be the underdog here. We did see them beat Outlast pretty handily though, so it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
I mean, for all we know, again, those could have, maybe they're on a hot streak, and this is where start to taper down a little bit. The temperature starts to run a little bit cold. Who knows? But again, this team, just listen, I'm just gonna hedge a guess, take a wild guess, and especially since this is also EJ's team, probably gonna be taking the momentum pretty well. Maybe not, like if Revenge Nation is on one side of the spectrum, who are basically monotone after a 1v5, and let's just say Team Gusic on the other side of the spectrum. I think they're more closer to that energetic side than the more refined, disciplined side. And also considering the fact that everyone's calling them demons, that conveys a certain connotation to it that the other, if they were to use a different word, does not. Going here, they're warmed up, they're playing a map that they literally just played and beat a very good team on in the SCS quals right now. I don't know. Shadowrum are coming off a win, but not on this map. Team Gusic are warmed up in the exact arena they'll be facing.
I will say, yeah, Shadow Realm coming off the win. They're looking. Both teams have warmed up, but like, yeah, Outlast didn't really play that kind of aggressive, energetic game though. They're playing more of a
kind of
a slow, meticulous, kind of just taking their time, maybe to a fault at times. So this could be it could be a change-up that might make Shadow Realm kind of skip up, make them trip and fall.
That is actually a very good point. Two distinct play styles that, well, I mean, in all fairness, for all we know, Gusic could be, you know, like the Dark Zero of T3. Very refined, very focused on their strats, not, you know, not getting too aggressive, waiting to push in. Who knows? We actually don't know what's in store for them. I'm just making assumptions based off of what I heard. And JJ's tweet confirmed anything. If they are next up, I imagine we're going to see something a little more aggressive. Do you have all 10 players in the lobby just waiting for ours for both teams? Gusic are coming off a 7-4 victory, Benny. It was on Villa. What do you think in this game? We've seen Shadow Realm play. We know what they're capable of. You think this is going to be a close one, or do you think Gusic continue on with the momentum?
I wish I saw more of that Gusic game. I really wish I saw more.
I do too.
It's so much like when we saw from the little blip of one round from the Wichita Wolves game, it didn't seem like Gusic were doing crazy. They were playing the basics. They were playing to the chest. So maybe you're right. Maybe they're more of like a Dark Zero of T3.
Well,
they're more of that, you know, refined, just playing their game kind of
it's
team.
Possible.
So, and if that's the case, we saw Shadow Realm do pretty well against Outlast, which is kind of that same style a little bit.
I will say it is a bit funny because we saw that one round, but the person we were watching was Trevmac, who's on flank watch, so really didn't see a whole lot going on in that game. Not his fault, you know. I don't expect him to change the way he plays because we're watching, but we didn't exactly get a good idea of how that round went inside the building because, well, I think Trevmac lived and died outside of the building, so don't fully know what Gusic are capable of, even from the little of what we've seen. But clearly they beat Wichita Wolves Academy 7-4, which, by the way, if you want to keep a close eye on the bracket, games that are also happening. Surf currently up 5-0. It's one update. I believe they're playing Phantom Gaming, who's not been having the best tournaments, so looking to go up 6-0 as well. But there was another game going on, Benny, that we almost streamed, but we decided to go with this one because Team Gusic has that big renown behind them. Want to get them on stream. There is currently Wichita Wolves Academy versus Frenchie & Co. And that is Dami versus JJ, the rivalry of the century. So that is one game that I'd also keep a close eye on to see what the results are while you're maybe flicking back and forth between this stream and results.
I'll say if we can small tune that stream after this, that'd be crazy. But I don't know if that happened or not. I don't know if
it'd actually be really fun if it was a 7-1.
We go back and watch Trev Mack at the end of this.
Trev Mack is still outside of the building on the final round. We're just like somebody pushing up 90. Can't see him. That would be really funny, actually. Well, I mean, I think he is the one streaming their POV, which is ironic considering again that he's on one of the less glamorous roles on a team. So that's kind of funny. It's got a humor there. We're still waiting for all the R's to come into chat, but I don't know if we exactly gave a prediction, but I am leaning towards Gusic because, I mean, how can I not? Apparently, they're Invite 2025 champions.
Invite.
I don't know. I'm feeling like this is gonna be a Gusic game.
You think it's gonna be a one-sided affair, or do you think it's gonna be a close one?
I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be a close one. But we are finally getting in the match, though. I was starting to get a little bit worried that we'd be sitting here for a lot longer, but thankfully, finally, get into the game.
I'll bet on Shadow Realm then first. I'll bet on Shadow Realm then.
You just take off your glasses? What did you just do?
I rubbed my eyes.
Oh, okay.
God.
Jesus, don't do that.
Help me take my glasses off.
Doing that on camera. How unprofessional of you.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's just no, it's totally. But I'm gonna go with Shadow Realm. They're on defense first. I think they're gonna take the first step, and they're gonna make their way and win this game. It's gonna be a close one though. It's gonna be a close one, but I think they're gonna win this up because it's starting on the defense side. I'm just gonna say that.
Well, that's fair. That's a perfectly logical opinion. Still wrong, but I'll take it. That's your band starting out first, coming out from Shadow Realm. Nothing all too crazy. Team Gusic, I imagine, will follow up with a Hard Breach, and no, actually, a Zofia band coming out from them. Again, based on the pedigree that they have attained for themselves so far in quals, I did not expect a more frag-heavy, aggressive operator to get banned, but still makes sense. Could very well throw off Shadow Realm, depending on what's happening. I don't think they actually played. I think they played a little bit of Zofia, Benny. I think that was Shiba's main op, so that could actually disrupt.
Yeah, Shiba was playing Zofia. Yeah, so it could disrupt them. I definitely think it's something you don't expect though, and maybe Gusic's the one to just show us things. Mirror is expected to be banned. Valkyrie on top of that, it's Villa. Well, not even Villa. It's Mira and Valkyrie. They're always gonna.
It's Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
It's what you'd expect. Nothing too crazy. Which is nice. We're going to see with these teams, again, theoretically in a little bit of a comfortable territory. Nothing all too crazy. I do think that Zofia ban is maybe going to throw off Shiba a little bit. He basically played Mozzie exclusively on the defense, played Zofia exclusively on the attack for the lesser amount of rounds that we saw coming out from Shadow Realm because they were already pretty close to a victory. I imagine we're going to see the same here, starting out with the Mozzie as well. Again, a great op on all maps, another op you'd expect on Villa. But Benny, in stark contrast to us bringing up Whitlock's point earlier about how all you have to do is run defaults and have, some good guns going, you can win. Shadow Realm started off Clubhouse going to Bar Stage, the least played site on the map. And now, they're starting out Villa with Living Room Library.
When was the last time you casted Living Room Library?
I don't know. I really don't know. I could not tell you. It has been a long time, though. I
don't think I've ever casted Living Room Library.
No, you've been casting way longer than me. I'm sure you've casted it once, but you could
maybe
probably count,
but
for both of us, you could probably count it on one hand. This is Bar. I would honestly say that Bar Stage at this point is a more commonly played site than Living Room Library, and that's only because it's new, or it's not new.
Yeah, I remember it's
redone.
I was talking to Jesse there because he was VOD reviewing the APAC streams, and APAC was playing Living Room Library. And I'm like, how many times people? He's always, everybody always wins Living Room Library. That's because nobody plays it. They play it like 3 times in a year, maybe.
Well, how Living Room Library normally goes, and this me saying this is actually more of a reminder for me than all of you, just because of how little this side is played. Usually you have some kind of extension up in Aviator Games. They open up a long angle that looks down into that hallway that is just outside of Living Room Library, kind of by Art in that little Z hallway. It's where we see Jolt playing right now. Don't know if holes have been opened up. Of course, ever since Mozzie lost at Super Shorty, you can't do nearly as much site construction, so I actually don't know how extensively those holes have been, especially because Kami has a lot of ammo in that shotgun, so maybe not a lot of site reconstruction going on down below. Not entirely sure, but Team Gusic, knowing that this is a Living Room Library, will likely have to clear out the top floor because it is hard to make headway onto the site if it's alive in AVG.
I definitely agree, and there's not really much reinforcements or much utility put on this top floor for Team Shadow Realm, though. They have members like Joel up here, and I think there's a member behind him who's trying to help him, but they don't have really much to the name to help out really with their hold up here. So far, Team Gusic, they've made their way back so with the first kill onto Kami, though. That's the me with the C4. I don't know where there must have been somewhere else. A great shot from Shiba on the back, so in return, great shot. Can he get rid of the sledge as well? He's trying to run away, but multiple members of Gusic are on his position. Down goes not done yet either as well, and so far, this downstairs site has not gone well. 2 C4s on the floor, on the ceiling.
No, not at all. Team Gusic just sort of encircled the site and the extension at the same time, and I don't even say pinched exactly. The defenders might have just rotated, gave themselves away to angles, and ended up losing them out. Jolt, thankfully, is starting to retake the top floor, but he's now the only one left because Millie's getting aggressive down below on low HP. Pretty easy cleanup for the attack on that one. Jolt also now low HP. The player he was contending with, I believe that was unlimited on the Finka, will rotate off. No point getting aggressive, especially now that the bomb is on the floor. You can retreat to your positions, and Jolt being on 1 HP, you don't need to worry too much about swinging and trying to take this engagement. Just retreat, back up a little bit. Look at that, an air jab as well. Ooh, unfortunately caught by an ADS. That would have added insult to injury, but let's be honest. Yeah, you don't need that air jab to win. Jolt can put 1 bullet in him and win the first round for Team Gusic.
Yeah, that's Living Room Library is a weird one. There's all the vertical pressure, but even without the vertical pressure, the first pick was from Baxel. He was on 90 window. It looks like he shot through the floor and saw the first kill of Shiba through the floor, maybe, or it was through not Shiba through the floor. I think it was not done yet playing below. Maybe he was only playing bathroom, trying to hold that 90 window for his teammates from below. But then they also push out the players from top floor. They're able to just like you said, I wasn't sure it was a pinch, but they're able to at least deal with those players, isolate them, and kill. They got the angles they needed. Yeah, they would deal with most of the roamers, and they dealt with the players on site somehow. I don't even know how that happened. It ended up being just Shiba in a 1v3 off site. So, despite the site being difficult for Living in Library, I'm not totally sure how they killed most of the anchors besides when you through the floor. I don't really know.
That's the funny thing. It's not exactly the easiest site for the defense. It's probably the most attacker-sided side on the map, but Gusic made it look easy on that one. Again, I'm like Benny, not entirely sure how they did it, but they did. And Shadow Realm, maybe you should, maybe that's not the play you should be going for. Don't go with the crazy site right out the gate. Just play it a little bit more standard. play the strats and the sites that you're more comfortable on and try to win it out that way. They'll do that now. Not going to try living room library again. They'll rotate up the trophy and statuary. Same lineup coming out from Gusic, and overall pretty similar lineup for Shadow Realm as well. But actually, Shiba gives up the Mozzie, takes the Cade. Kami picks that up, so both players actually switching positions, and now Kami's in a position and on an operator to get more aggressive, and Shiba, in all likelihood, will be sitting on the site. Very different than how he's like to play the day so far.
Different roles. Looks like maybe changing things up. Maybe trying to figure things out. As maybe one player isn't really comfortable on the Kaid. Hard to say, but looks like Shiba's like aware of that presence or that little angle you can get onto the members of inside of statuary from above. He's just watching for it. But there is an extension all the way towards that aviator game sign. And so far, Gusic, I don't see him. I think maybe he's going for the extension. We're trying to push it out. I see members like Baxel down below, pushing from those brown stairs. I see members pushing from the windows. Not done yet is playing over by those Astro stairs, so that'd be probably Baxel's first engagement, but he's aware of the hatch being blown out. It scares someone might peek him. This member's also going towards that master bedroom side for Team Gusic.
Nothing yet from Shadow Realm. Minute in, they got some intel, saw some drones flooding in through bathroom, but that might change momentarily. Baxel slowly shift walking up brown stairs, spots the hatch inside of Astra open. Is a little bit risky. If somebody decides to peek down, it could give himself up to an angle. Will walk by the proximity alarm as well. That gives Not Done Yet the exact amount of intel he needs to land a pre-fire, and while he loses a lot of health, a big player who likely could have do that flank up Astro, thrown a massive wrench into the defense on the site and acquired a large amount of control for the attack, is taken down. The Astro player is on low HP, but Amp on low HP as well, is making this attack from Team Gusic look a lot less of a surefire bet than it was in round number 1. It might be changing as they answer back finally.
Yeah, they start over the Astro player on the stairs, so it looks like Astro is the intent here for them, along with Master Bedroom. Amp trying to take a fight, but there's two members. Actually, not two, there's just Shiba swinging that door, swinging bricks, getting that kill, and they have control of Astro. It's a big point for Gusic, actually, but he doesn't see Shiba playing in the corner. Teddy goes down. Unlimited playing up. He's trying to at least play his team, but it's actually a flank from below. He pulls the grenade at the wrong time. Millie's going up there near Nar. He pulls out a brick, but he's the last one alive. He gets one kill, trades with Shiba afterwards. And then so far, Shadow will take one back, making it 1-1.
Big problem there. Maybe this is what we've seen from Gusic, is them trying to make plays, trying to hit flanks, hit some sneaky plays to gain map control without expending much utility. It can work, but the problem is, as you'll see, if you lose the gunfight, or if you don't have enough intel, it can turn against you. The first, losing the gunfight, was the example of Baxel. Knew that there was somebody on Astro stairs, but unfortunately, the castle swings, he's able to land the shots, and a 50-50 gunfight ends up going with the defense. So the one player who is by himself trying to snake his way up Astro has now been taken down, and you've lost an effective player to clear out the roam and put pressure on the players on the site, and he's in no position to get traded. Unlimited comes later, but he comes later. Not able to help the Jackal in that moment. The second one was when Teddy started creeping his way on through bathroom. They had control of astronomy, but he's slowly moving in and trying to take a fight with Shiba, but he doesn't have intel on his position. He knows he's on the wall, but there's no active intel on where he is, so he ends up covering and checking a lot more than he needed to. He even swings over and his crosshair glides over the Cade. Doesn't have the intel. He's got to react. Shiba is anticipating that play. He wins the gunfight. Team Gusic there, had even one of those plays worked, round might go in their favor, but that's the problem. If you're taking a 50-50 gunfight, you don't have enough intel, and they both end up biting you in the end, you can it's pretty easy to point to what went wrong in that round.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It seems like there's some like solo plays or just plays made without intel, without somebody at least there to refrag you, which kind of makes sense. It's hard to refrag when you're pushing so far from Astro into sight with nobody else there. The walls are open. Then like they have the tribal open. There's nobody from Master Bedroom coming through. There's nobody from Bathroom coming through to help out. You know, Unlimited still coming up the Astro stairs. So it seemed like a time Team Gusic are making solo plays or plays that are too early in the round. Well, so far looks like Shiba already sees one member on that board balcony. He's going to open up that castle barricade. It's Amp looking to try and find someone who's maybe rotating through the hallway, but nobody is for the moment. It looks like most of Shadow Realm at this point have made their play or made their positions, you know, figured out where they're supposed to be for the round so far. As it in Aviator games, this is where we're going to see what Gusic does for this player. Are they going to go for main stairs, or are they going to go for that north to south take we saw, like we've seen from, you know, Bushshot Wolves last game, where they saw a little bit of a Trev Mac.
Yeah, we saw them playing against Gusic. They did try to employ a a north to south clear. Did not end up working. Gusic looking like they're going for the opposite. A lot of focus and attention being paid to main stairs right now, understandably, because, well, there is simply nobody there. They have the utility. They have a shield dedicated there, but right now there's nobody actively playing that position. There is a Wamai close by, so he's not fully far away. Nade sails behind the bar to try to deny anybody playing there, but Kami has vaulted up on the bar to safeguard himself against any such nade and still allow him to play that angle, assuming nobody peeks it. Momentarily, in all likelihood, Gusic will recognize that there's nobody actively playing the main stairs, and they can start pushing their way on up. With only one player to worry about, mainly the Wamai, they can get that for free, but they also find Millie's on a flank down below, and unfortunately, he's by himself. You lose some utility with that C4.
Yeah, well, again, solo plays, people are just running around by themselves with no real refrag. Nar getting a kill on the Kami through those holes. Great job from Shiba to deny that main push forward now. But there's somebody on that steady balcony trying to push through, and another place coming up. Great shot from Nar, take control of that main stairs. And that was a 2v4 for Shadow Realm, and a lot of us are getting aggressive plays, taking fights, and really just losing the 1v1s again and again for Shadow Realm.
Oh, Jolt managing to finally work his way back into the side, but he's quickly spotted by Gusic. We still have 5 drones on the board, by the way, so they have plenty of avenues for intel, plenty of options. Not a lot of time, only 50 seconds left, but they can afford to drone a little bit more, especially when it's a 2v4 right now. They strongly have the man advantage, and Shadowrum need to get a frag somewhere, but it's not presenting itself. Jolt, unfortunately, taken off guard by Amp, and it's all left up to not done yet. 3 members all rotating inside of games. Land some shots on one through the wall, but it's the solo player of Nard pushing on the opposite side of his team. It gets the final frag for Gusic in the round, and where it was evened up, it's now fully in their favor, 2-1.
Unfortunately, yeah, that Aviator Games hold from Shadow Realm, it's seeming mainly towards that north to south take. If you were trying to hold off and stop him pushing that 90 hallway, stop him pushing into Skull. But it was mainly a main stairs take from Team Gusic. Not a lot of pressure put toward that side. They have that member on study balcony, and they just push up the stairs. They did lose a member up those stairs, but they had gotten kills elsewhere, whether it be through the through the vertical pressure, through the vertical holes made by the defensive team, or whether it be the flank by Millies that was caught off guard, or that was actually had intel on to be able to stop them happening. And then again, there seems like there's members from Shadow Realm who were just, we talk about solo plays, people peeking without any ability to refrag, just trying to go for one for ones over and over again.
That's such a difficult strategy to make work. And when you start losing those ones, the round can pretty much be decided on if those gunfights go your way or go against you. See all 4 sides played in classic Shadow Realms fashion. See going all the way down to Kitchen is 4 rounds in a row, 4 different sites for every single one. Kitchen a little bit more standard, but again, oddly enough, Benny, the one time we've seen the Pulse was on Living Room and Library, and a very common operator for this site, Pulse. To watch the players entering from up above the Master Bedroom is absent from Shadow Realm's lineup. On top of that, not a lot of C4s either. Again, another mainstay of this. There are only 2 on the board for Shadow Realms, and knowing Shiba, he might not even be playing on the site. He might be getting aggressive on that top floor, so Shadow Realm's certainly not playing this in the standard way. This strat is not uncommon. They are still extending up top, as is traditional on this site, but certainly not placing as much of a focus on the verticality like most teams usually do.
Yeah, not having a lot of tools to try and stop if a sledge takes control of that top floor. But so far, Gusic, the start of it is one player, the Yana of Baxel, downstairs, just taking control of that basement floor. There is a shotgun ready for the right. It looks like Millies is maybe not aware, but at least has a position to try and stop it from happening. Has a shotgun ready, and Baxel walking up. There's a head, he doesn't notice it, and he does get shot in the foot.
What?
He gets away, but there's a member at least in the library, or living room. This Kami, Millies elsewhere takes Amp, and so far, this bottom of the top floor take has not been working well. Nar at least takes out Shiba.
Yeah, he takes out Shiba, but again, as you said, it's not working very well. Almost a pick gained on not done yet. He takes the fight again, this time from a different angle, but here's the shotgun we were anticipating. Finds one, but unfortunately the other one is a bit too tight of an angle for a gun that relies on spread. Now, Unlimited, who managed to get that kill, stuck in the 1v3. Alone on pantry stairs, no option to open up that single panel in front of him. If he wants to make it work here, all he has to do is push through that doorway, which now has an Arudi gate in front of it. Can't burn it, sends a frag grenade in there, but they know he is still committing to this play, and they can set up a 3-man crossfire, all watching the Finka as he tries to push on in. He'll finally do it. He's spotted by the DMR, but it's the 416 to do him in the end. Shadow Realm even up 2-2 once again, and I have to say, Benny, if last round was Shadow Realm not at all adapting, and Gusic not playing into their hold, this time, Gusic played directly into their hands. Just directly into their hands.
It was interesting because the Gusic, I guess, knew that they're going to play that top floor roam, and they tried to go for like a basement into site, just going straight for site kind of thing. But it was guessed by, like, I wouldn't say like they played right into the hands of Shadowrun, but Shadowrun read it so easily. Having that hatch open from brownstairs, having a shotgun already around the corner if they play pantry. They would just members. I guess it's just too easy to read because a lot of teams do that anyway, where they just try to bypass the rope and push straight to site. So I guess like it's just unfortunate it didn't work out very well for them, and they couldn't win those. They didn't have the intel either. Like they didn't know a person was playing inside of library or living room. I mean, they didn't know that the hatch was open and someone was playing it.
It's a very ill-conceived rush through in and throughout for Team Gusic. All right, well, we're seeing this side again. Didn't expect that one.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I mean, considering also that they lost it, and I don't know, it's a very, very odd decision because I also believe Benny's trophy's available.
Trophy is available.
They could have gone to it, and they went back to living room and library. You know, I get not going to AVG because you lost it, but really, we're trying this again? This wasn't exactly a close round for Shadow Realm. The Roam got pretty efficiently. Shiba managed to get 1 kill, but still didn't have much of an impact. Joel tried to make a play up top as well, but all the players on site fell. I don't know. This is a very odd decision. We see some changes. No more Mozzie, Shiba on the alibi, but really nothing substantial in terms of the setup. I know Pulse as well, but I mean, really? Living room library again?
I guess they're putting more into this top floor hold, but they're not even reinforcing the walls once again, which is why it was so easy to try and deal with the play in Vault, because they can just open up that aviator wall. Yeah, so, and he's also reinforcing the bathroom hatch so they can't even rotate back to site. Baxter once again on the 90 window. Last time he was here to get 2 kills off of this, actually got 1 kill off of it. He was refragged, but it's still a powerful position to cut off these roamers, especially because that Vault wall is soft, so you can't play Vault anymore with Baxter there, unless somebody from below somehow deals with him inside of living library. But so far, let's see Jolt once again inside of aviator. He knows this time this was a difficult angle to play because they could just sit in the study balcony to shoot straight through the vault. So at this point, I'm assuming Shadow are going to pull off as soon as they start pressure.
That's what I would assume. Everyone has started to, except Shiba, who's still trying to find the head of Baxel on this rappel. Very narrowly gave it up. He also is spotted by that alibi clone, but I mean, Shiba's probably aware that there's somebody on the rappel. He'll even rotate onto the hatch to contest that angle, but this is sort of the problem, is that there's not an easy avenue to rotate back. He can't start pushing back or pulling back because Baxel is not watching. He's just playing very passively on that rappel, and everyone else from Shadow Realm is slowly starting to move backwards onto those red stairs. So I suppose this is the game plan, Benny. They are rotating back, keeping the man advantage on the side, forcing Shadow Realm to try and use the verticality to find a pick, and then maybe Shadow Realm can challenge, but still a bit of a risky strategy because once those floors are opened up, it can be difficult for the defense to play on the site.
Yeah, I guess maybe they're trying to make it so that they can play piano, so like this angle piano art, and try and deny the push into library, because it seems like they're giving that control so they can push into library and go for the plant and have control of piano. They can try and flank and stop it from happening. Millies, though, not sure how aware he is, how much he's being pinched. Shotgun out, great shot onto Nard as he knows one next to him, though. No, Unlimited is ready, waiting in piano, and now they have control of piano. Teddy with another one onto not done yet. So with this vertical pressure to push these defenders back in that full control, and like I said, amp above, just so much ability to just stop them pushing in, so much crossplay, so much vertical pressure.
There is Shiba, who has retaken the top floor, and wow, Amp not watching. The alibi's gone unread. Beautiful play by Shiba. That leaves Jolt alone on the site, unfortunately, just because of how the round has transpired. He's creeping out through. Oh my god, there's nobody watching. He can pre-fire, but no, it's stopped at the very last second by Teddy. Abysmal coverage from Team Gusic until the very last second. Shiba manages to find the shot on the one player playing outside or inside of main door. There's still 2 more he's got to deal with. One to the hard right of the door. He's likely going to try to make a play from, and another watching a long angle. Flash grenade sent out. Second one as well will likely blind the alibi, so that'll delay his push in by a couple more seconds, but all have been expended. There are still some nades from Unlimited as well if he wants to just nade that door, ricochet it off the roof, but instead he'll sit there crouched. He knows he doesn't have to peek or make a play. Teddy will take an angle, and Unlimited very narrowly loses his life. But they play the man advantage. They play the trades. Teddy gets aggressive. Maybe he shouldn't have, but he gets the kill in the end. Team Gusic take the round. And Benny, what do you know? The attackers used living room's weaknesses to their advantage.
It was at least closer this time. That that Rome didn't go nearly as catastrophic as it did the first time, but it's still so difficult to try and contest that vertical pressure, especially because you didn't really put any reinforcements, any kind of utility on the top floor, it was easy for Team Gusic to just go take that control, push those defenders back, and you saw him getting picks on people on site, people on the flank. The only person that really made a difference was Sheba upstairs taking back control of top floor. But in the end, like, Mills also tried to hold piano. Mills is the only one in piano by himself. Sheba's the only one by himself upstairs. There's no real like support for these players to hold on these positions to try and stop it from happening. So again, like, once it all collapses, you end up being a post plant where the one defender has to come back from a roam and try and take back site.
The way you attack living room library, if you're going for that study side, it just lends itself to the attackers all playing close together, the ability to play for those trades. So when Millie's got that opening that could have been huge, there's someone inside a piano who could easily play for that trade. Ironically enough, though, that plus, that positive of Team Gusic's attack there was seemingly absent on their attack here. On Trophy Statuary, we saw the Jackal, a Baxel, making a solo play of Astro, ended up dying. Saw Teddy by himself with little intel trying to find a kill inside the site, ended up losing that gunfight because of that fact. So the team play that just won Gusic that round has been noticeably absent in some of the rounds that have gone Shadow Realm's favor, this being, in my opinion, the prime example of that shortcoming. Then again, if they just play a little bit closer together, maybe coordinate on astronomy a little bit more, maybe take a step back before they push inside that site, this could very easily be a 4-2 half if they just iron out some of those kinks.
Yeah, especially because Astro control can be so pivotal for this site. If they just, held on, like you said, held on and waited a second, centered their, their attack from Astro, open up those walls into, Trophy. Because like we saw, like we
have someone on the rappel.
I remember watching yesterday. Remember yesterday we watched that game where they had, oh my god, not done. Get the kill. Nice shot in the back. So that was.
Wow. I mean, to be entirely honest, that's just unlucky.
that was funny. He heard it though. That was good. Hey, good play from Not Done. He heard the noise, heard the rappelling on it, just waited for him to open up because he knows it's a sledge. Because we've seen them play this sledge every single round.
Yeah. So that is a good adaptation by Shadow Realm, so I will give them that. Unlucky Baxel almost won the fight, but in moments like that, it can get very hectic trying to take that engagement. So I can understand Baxel not coming away with that. Both players just had to adapt very quickly, realize where each other were, and unfortunately this time did not go Baxel's way. It does mean that Astro Repel is taken down, and Gusic has not yet sent anybody to retake that position, and when they do, if this downstairs clue doesn't go very well, it might be a position they just have to give to the defense and a little bit of pressure that they'll unfortunately have to remove from their take, because Unlimited and Gnar right now both meeting some obstacles on this clear down below. Two players currently playing inside. Manages to dodge the Mozzie pest, but it's still shot, and it's the Mozzie himself who finds Amp. Unlimited will finally peek on in, land one kill, tries to flick onto the Mozzie, but it's a trade. Ended up going the favor of Team Gusic. The man advantage is the favor of Shadow Realm.
Yes, looks like that bottom floor roam actually went up pretty well. On top of the first kill onto Baxel. So this roam game was kind of evened out, got pretty well for Shadow Realm. Sheba peeking into the, that red hallway. It does take some damage, but that does, confirm intel where some of the players are, and Not Done. Gets droned out, shot down by Teddy. Great use of the drone by Teddy. Teddy has made their way into Astro. Gnar can join them, and they could try to open up this wall because Teddy is the Habana. If they can open up angles into Trophy, hold off anybody pushing that statuary door, they could make this happen. But again, it's a 2v2 though, and they have to get the diffuser down, so it's not exactly easy.
Well, important thing here, depending on where they push, in all likelihood, I imagine this is going to be a statue push. They both have three flashbangs though, so normally that's just used for utility clear, burning those ADSs, but now they could actually make use of them, but push on in. But again, Teddy, the same culprit as last time, pushes in with too little intel. Gnar's thankfully there to compensate. Now, the moment they get that kill, Gnar's on the coverage, but unfortunately he falters, and Jolt picks up both of them. That was a very winnable position, but unfortunately, as so often seems in this game, it's a 50-50 gunfight, and in this time, it goes the way of Shadow Realm, and we're at a 3-3 half.
Ooh, 3 halves for Villa, that makes sense. A lot of times that happens, but yeah, that last round though, that was interesting. Having Baxel get taken up by first by Not Done. Not Done plays a great position here, just hears the noise and plays for the fight. Kind of crazy, you wouldn't expect it. And then later on, that downstairs roam from the side of Shadow Realm didn't go quite. It was actually seemed like it went pretty well for Team Gusic at first. Sort of, not really, and then it kind of evened out, but still they had the opening pick, so that gives the advantage for Shadow Realm. But then Not Done playing those Astro Stairs, knowing that that he was one of the members downstairs, he gets picked off on those Astro Stairs, puts it a 2v2, and they got the first pick. They will tell one player in the statuary, give them that angle into sight. But rather than, you know, in a 2v1, would you go for the plant and just cover him, go for that 1v1, or should you pressure the last player? There was not a lot of time. The player was like only 30 seconds left, so it's a hard decision, and I'm not sure what the correct decision should be in that position.
Also, not a lot of utility use. They didn't throw those flashbangs into Trophy when they played, so that made the gunfight with the Cade a little bit more precarious. But either way, it's still a 3-3 half on Villa attack. Not at all bad by any means. Nothing stellar either, but, you know, you're going to walk away happy with it. Not at all terrible. Going to the defense as well, if, you know, as we saw on the Wichita Wolves game, if Gusic are truly as formidable as they say, could see them get very aggressive against Shadow Realm on these attacks. On the downstairs floor, we'll see a cap can come out. Again, another operator that can sometimes be a bit of a mainstay. Very common operator played on this downstairs defense with a Thunderbird as well. Gives them a lot of options to withhold on the site, but also extend upstairs. But Teddy, I was going to say, might see him up top. No, he is downstairs alone with the shotgun.
How often do you see a Thunderbird with a shotgun?
How often do you see a Thunderbird?
True. Well, we see a Teddy on a Thunderbird waiting position, has a C4 in hand, could deny, kill someone pushing through the side, but the question is, looks like, yeah, Shadow Realm are looking to try and clear that top floor compared to what we saw from, you know, Team Gusic, who just went for that but that downstairs to upstairs take they tried to do, trying to ignore the roam. But then I'll say one thing though, we see from Team Gusic is the amount of C4s is very different compared to Shadow Realm.
Yeah. This is how we usually, I mean, the Thunderbird with a shotgun and basement aside, this is usually how we see a kitchen defense go. Emphasizing that verticality, forcing the attack to play into it, to clear it out a bit, to get that vertical play, and then the C4s coming out in turn to try to deny that control. Yet, we have not seen anything from Shadow Realm. Only a minute 10 seconds in. Do you see not done yet? I believe accidentally flashed himself. Unlucky there, but not gonna harm you too much. But for Shadow Realm right now, they have not committed to anything, Benny. They're gaining some intel. They're sending some drones into sight, but only see Jolt sitting outside that window upstairs. Half the round is gone, and they barely even put any semblance of pressure on this upstairs round.
Yeah, I thought they were going for a clear, but they're all just sitting on the balcony waiting for something. Well, it looks like they at least push into Trophy. They make their way through. Millie's looking around to see if anybody swings that laundry door, but nobody from Gusic is doing so. They're all playing discipline, waiting for an exit because they have 4 C4s. They have quite a lot of indirect denial. It looks like maybe Nar has put one pre-placed elsewhere because he's lost his C4, but yeah, they have enough indirect utility to stop a plant. But Shiba here jumps down into the pantry, Teddy stairs, and this could be a misdirection that could help out his team and give him that edge in pushing into the execute.
Ooh. See him starting to work his way on in. Ooh, spots one, but Nar was anticipating that play, knew that their backside was exposed just a little bit, and watching takes down Shiba. One of the star players on Shadow Realm so far in these past couple games. He's taken down, and again, by himself, making a solo play. A motif that continues to rear its head. Thankfully here, playing together, going in through laundry. Kami manages to find a kill, but there's that vertical play. Gone completely uncontested by the attack. It gets 2 kills, 3 at that, with the pistol for the third. Gusic win their first defensive round, and I mean, honestly, Benny, not a good showing from Shadow Realm to set the pace for this half.
100% agree. There was just a lack of action. They seemed to have all been, the only thing they took control of was laundry and pantry stairs. But pantry stairs was also a solo play by Shiba. I guess Shiba would have been the person to make the play happen in the first place, give them an edge in the fight, but Nar was ready for it, watching that angle. And at that point, since nobody took control of top floor, nobody was even contesting bedroom, Backskull could just sit on the hatch and deny the laundry takes. And they were just waiting. They were disciplined, waiting toward the end of the round to just play those positions. So yeah, I would definitely agree. Shadow Realm did not show us a great round there. It wasn't not a lack of action, a lack of intel. Yeesh.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
Definitely
bombs
gonna
as they can.
We're going to need to see a little bit better showing in this game, because it might have been a 3-3 half, but it might not stay that way for long if we're going to see Shadow Realm basically stall out for 2 minutes and not do much when it comes to the actual execute. Of course, could be the first round. Could have been just working out some of the bumps in the machine. We'll have to see. Trophy Statuary, the second site. Gusic could decide to play. We'll see a pulse here. We've seen a pulse now on almost every site except Kitchen. Very odd how that's worked out. But it is a similar idea here. Trophy Statuary on the second floor. You send the pulse down below. Whether in kitchen or in basement, if you want to use that heartbeat scanner. See where they're pushing in. If they're going for some vertical play from below to deny anybody playing on that wall, you can use him in that way. Of course, it is a little bit risky if you put him down below in basement. If he's by himself, he can very easily be pinched out by the attack if Shadow Realm read into that. So that's one thing Gusic are going to have to consider. They either got to get Baxel out of there quickly or send somebody to support him if he's playing on either the basement or the first floor.
And hopefully he goes on red in that instance, but we'll see what happens if he does or not. But as you said before, he's playing basement. He can give a lot of intel to his, to his teammates and help them out and expect where the push is going to come from. And it looks at this point so far, Shadowroom are intended on pushing Master Bedroom once again and see if they can open up that tri-wall into sight, which is different from Team Gusic. Team Gusic put a lot of pressure on Astro. Their intent every single time was that Astro play into sight. But it seems like maybe Shadowroom are pushing more for that Master Bedroom or normal take Master Bedroom, open up the tri-wall and get into sight. But so far, let's see. So Baxel should be downstairs giving intel, unlimited. Hearing the noise, saying someone open up that bicycle window. And so far, I think Zone also is inside the living library too. So there's 2 members downstairs that are playing this tandem roam.
One of them now rotating back down brown stairs. Amp still chilling here. Waiting for Shadowroom to make a move. When actually, wow, they do in fact make a move, but oh my lord, you have to win those. You just simply have to win those. You had the drop on him and anything. Millie's wasn't looking your way. Amp is gonna be hitting himself for that one because wow, that was a freebie and he somehow tossed it away. Millie's still on low HP. It's not at all good, but you basically secure living room library control in a situation where you absolutely shouldn't. There are still players who can contest. Baxel working his way up from red into Memorial. Nobody's spotted him just yet. The C4 as well, if he retakes this position, he can do a lot of work, but shoots a drone, is spotted, forced to rotate back down.
Yep, Unlimited's with him on this roam, and there's also Nar, who had some vertical angles below, but he's scared of someone pushing through the bricks door. He says, I'm not sure other teammate is with him at the moment because Amp is dead, so he's kind of scared if someone's going to push quickly onto site. At this point, it looks like maybe Shadowroom has abandoned trying to clear the bottom floor, and they're pushing straight into site. Yeah, 4 members are upstairs in that bedroom. 1 below, though, coming from brown stairs, so Unlimited may be flanked here, and that could be a big point of contention here is Astro stairs. I said it was going to be Master Bedroom, but it looks like Astro now is the next point of contention. It looks like he's going to deal with ADS through with the Gone 6, and they're going to try and grenade out Unlimited, who's playing those stairs.
Ooh, rolls down. Unfortunately, Unlimited manages to escape, and not only that, but Teddy answers back. The kill on Millies. He was already low HP, but this is a very good attack from Shadow Realm. Unlimited not aware whatsoever of not done yet. Stabs him in the back, and yet despite all that, still even. Still a 2v2. No, manages to retake Astro, who's not looking the right way whatsoever. The player's gotta fall off, and he loses the fight to Baxel. That round, it was all over the place on all sides, both teams in that game, but Gusic manages to fight their way through and come away the victor in the end, but that was not clean on either side.
Yeah, that was, the first part was, of course, we saw Amp unfortunately lose that fight to Millies, which should have been his win, but I say should have, but really, I'm not sure there. He jumps in and loses that fight.
Kill.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate. Then it was just kind of like a game of cat and mouse where they were trying to clear that bottom floor. They didn't really, in the end, really pushed far enough to really clear it, so they go straight for the site. But in the end, like they go for that Master Bedroom into sight, and Astro was a big contention there. They're trying to push into Astro, and it was we saw Not done yet just run up Astro stairs, stab him in the back, take control of Astro, and try to push him. But elsewhere, while they were taking control of Astro, the C4 and the players on site denied the initial push from bricks into site, which made it the even 2v2. And when you're 2v2, intel is important, and you could tell they had no clue where the rest of the defenders were at. They're coming back from different possessions. You saw one was, I believe, inside Trophy, who swings split, kills the guy in Astro, and then another player coming back from red stairs, then kills the planter of Not Done Yet, which ends the round right there. So I definitely agree that it was a chaotic round.
Yeah. Especially after that 2v4, just gotta highlight Nar, not only in his performance in that round, but he's currently 14-4, and that man was playing Nomad on attack and Smoke on the defense. Not exactly 2 roles that are gonna get you a lot of kills in a match, and yet he has somehow managed to do it. Now, I will say, got a lot of kills in the previous round because things just collapsed so magnificently for both teams. Still a very good play by the Smoke from what we've seen so far. Aviator Games, the next defense coming out. We're also Shiba still sticking with the Finka, but Jolt will move to the Jackal. I don't believe he might have played that last time, Benny. I'm not exactly sure.
We saw Baxel play Jackal. That was about it so far.
That's who was. Bax on the other team in the first round. And well, right now, certainly have his work cut out for him. He's got to clear out this roam inside of Master Bedroom, and Amp getting aggressive on that window. It's looking like very difficult, Benny, because he's still playing a bit aggressive. Oh, well, never mind. They're actually all rotating off. I was going to say, it looks like they're going to pinch him out, but nope, it's now, they're all gone. They're all left.
They all abandoned the idea at that point. They're like, there's too much pressure. We're just going to walk away from this. And I will say this looked like a lot of pressure. Like I said, there's 3 players on the side of the map, so, or 2 players at least, who are playing that roam on that master bedroom side. So maybe it is a good call from from Shadow Realm to abandon this roam clear. There is still 1 player on Shadow Realm still hanging around on the windows. It's not done yet. He's looking around. He flashes the window, but he's going to back off and rejoin his team on the other side of the map. And the question now is they going to go for main stairs and go for 90 pressure? Like, what is the plan now for Shadow Realm as they've abandoned that master bedroom clear?
Also a bit unfortunate because that was a whole minute wasted, and there actually, well, there certainly was a lot of players. There's 2 specifically on that master bedroom side, but it's not like Team Gusic have left the main stairs side completely undefended. There's quite a few players there. Baxel also still on that side of the map, can get aggressive. Fine's not done yet on the Nomad, who is playing. I believe that was down below inside a living room was the last time we saw him, so maybe repelled up to Boar, got peeked from that window, not entirely sure. The opening pick going to favor of Gusic, and Benny, they're still pushing into a lot of players on red stairs, main stairs as well. They're still rotating into a spot. It's going to be difficult to clear, but if Unlimited gives himself up like that, it could be a lot easier than I thought.
Yeah, that was a peak that he unfortunately did not expect Jolt to be on, and the main stairs are now clear. It looks like they're going for his main stairs take and probably taking that study balcony as well. And the question is, Nar is a great angle here, and he's trying to stay in his position so he can try and help out and deny it for the moment. But so far, it's a small angle. I'm not sure who you can really see anybody. What is the rest of Shadow Realm doing? Are they going for a study balcony? Because I only see 1 player. It looks like it's still, well, yeah, that's just how I figure things out. They're still groaning and doing their due diligence, but the time is running out, though. You can't really do due diligence. There's only 30 seconds left to go. Nar, that angle takes out Jolt. So that's the angle I'm talking about. That's important. And he plays it there. They're already past that position. Teddy with the C4 is next. Throws it over. It does get 1 kill. Takes out Sheba, and man after man are falling apart, pushing up these main stairs.
Millies has to get a kill here, but contesting Teddy close when he has a shotgun in his hand. It's going to be difficult. Switch to the SMG-11. Manages to land the shot as the Mute peeks up from behind the shield with only 10 seconds left, and very easy angle for Nar to make use of. Kami trying their best. Manages to find 1. 5 seconds left. 1 in front of him and behind him. Spots them, and it takes a little bit for Baxel to react, but he still manages to get the kill in the end. I believe that is match point. Yep. Team Gusic, Benny, a flawless cycle on the defense, and it really starts there. They tried to go for that main stairs clear so late in the round.
It was so obvious too for that point for Team Team Gusic. They understood that they had at that point had cleared out of the master bedroom take, because Not Dunny had been killed out by Bax, and Bax is like, there's nobody here. They're going for a different take, so they all rotate towards that side. They have the vertical angles. They have a C4 ready. Members from Shadow Realm trying to push up. They get the first pick on Unlimited. Gave them a little bit of snowball, something to work off of. But because of the vertical angles, because of the C4, they lost 2 players walking up main stairs, and that's just the first part. They still have to try and take control of Study, which they hadn't done. They still have to try and take control of Classical Hall, which Teddy was still playing with a shotgun. He does lose his life, but then you have Nar, who was playing behind the bomb chassis. Once again, the person behind the refrag. It's just, again, you're already in man disadvantage. You're trying to take it back. You can't be trading kills like that. So, yeah, unfortunate for Shadow Realm.
And also big there, it's got to come down to Nar holding that angle, especially because since Shadow Realm took so long, Sheba actually had a nade in his pocket, and that is what is commonly done. A nade is sent at that angle to push the player off and allow the push up main stairs. Because time was so low, they got sloppy. Shadow Realm just pushed up, and I got to shoot someone in the back. So that just goes to show when the time starts whittling down, Shadow Realm tend to make a lot of mistakes, and Team Gusic have capitalized on most of them made on both the attack and the defense so far. 3 rounds in a row, they'll move back down to the round they won first up, Kitchen. And again, Benny, this was a big problem this was a site where the big problem was Shadow Realm not really doing all that much. Saw them sitting outside of master bedroom, Jolt sitting on the balcony, didn't really push in. 2 players sitting inside a pantry. They started to make their way on in. I believe they even got a kill, but because nobody on the attack cleared out that top floor, they could play that angle and shut down their entire push.
Yeah, I would say this is where it just didn't work out. Like, that Pantry play was big last time when they tried to put someone there, but Nar was ready for it, and Baxo playing the hatch was huge there. Looks like Teddy's going to play it more aggressive. Knowing what happened last time, he's going to drop down by the basement. And so far, is Shadow going to make a play this time? Because, yeah, like I said last time, there's a lack of intent, a lack of action from them. They didn't try to clear anybody. They didn't try to... I think they walked in the pantry, and they walked in the laundry, and that was it. So, let's see what they do this time, as... Looks like they're trying to push around, maybe find angles and members rotating on the side of Team Gusic. Push the way into laundry once again, and there's a shotgun ready above, and also an open hole, which could be a C4 from above. Millie's just going to throw a C4, or not throw a grenade, actually down one of the members on Gusic of Nar, who was the person who denied the pantry push last time.
I actually cannot believe that nade even did anything to anybody on Gusic.
I think he was throwing a C4 at the same time, and that was what happened.
Maybe I'm not entirely sure, but if that nade is what downed him, I mean that was like an afterthought from Millies. He didn't even cook it; he just threw it up. there are Thunderbirds, thankfully, that Nar can run into, and Teddy can run into as well, as both members of Gusic are on low HP. The opening duel is gone, by the way. Baxel lost that; it's untraded by Gusic, as nobody on the defense, understandably, is really in a position to contest and fight any member of Shadow Realm because, again, ironically enough, they are still outside, but they're finally working their way on in. Not a lot of vertical control at their disposal, but whereas last time, the Laundry players found no avenue into sight. Millies has managed to work his way up here, but Shiba, going for the same solo play up Pantry, finds himself taken down. But everything inside the site is going the way of the attack. They have all these angles. They managed to work their way in unnoticed. Now Unlimited is stuck in a 1v4. The bomb on the floor as well. The player who planted it retreated into Laundry. He's got to take an angle with the player playing on Tetris right now. He flicks. Millie's thankfully looking the wrong way, but now there's a vertical hole up there as well. Sends out a C4. Might blow it up, and it could very well find that player, but he's not blowing it just yet. Waiting to maybe even distract the player up top as he goes for the defuse. Nade drops right at his feet. He rotates off, and that's exactly when Not Done peaks and gets Shadow Realm's first attacking round on the board.
Oh, finally one for Shadow Realm, and one that was kind of crazy. A little bit crazy there. They didn't take control top floor once again, but it was, I think, Not Done Yet was solo clearing by himself on the other side of the map getting kills. It was, we saw Millies throw that grenade over the wall, down one player, but also get down themselves. So it's kind of a trade there, just, HP wise. And at that point, because of that kills from, Not Done Yet elsewhere in the map, members from, from Team Gusic have to move around and expect plays, or they're trying to expect plays from, the other side of the map, expecting other members from Shadow Realm to push up, seeing as they lost members elsewhere. But in the end, it was mainly a Laundry and Pantry take. The Pantry take, unfortunately, you saw that failed entirely as Teddy runs up with a shotgun and murders them all.
They didn't need it.
They didn't need it. They walked in and got the plant down because they cleared out dining. And once the plant's down, the members just walk away from the site and just play the post plant.
Well, that's what we want to see around that, is won pretty strongly by Shadow Realm. But again, unfortunately here, if Gusic even plays a fraction of how they've been playing in their defensive half so far, this game will be over 7-4, 7-5, whatever it is. They just need to do it one single time, and that's the ball game. Thankfully here, though, Benny, going to Aviator Games, and this was by no means a clean victory for Gusic. Wasn't a clean attack by Shadow Realm either, but it necessitated a 2v4 from Team Gusic in order to win it out, and one that was won almost single-handedly, I would say single-handedly, but predominantly by Nar's efforts inside of the site on smoke. But this was a round that Shadow Realm had in their hand. They took a little bit long, it was a little bit sloppy, but it revolved around getting control of Astronomy and flooding the site through there. If they take things a little bit quicker, if they're able to even acquire bedroom control and bathroom control a little bit quicker, they can win that a lot more decisively.
Yeah, it's crazy because they had them in advantage, but then trying to get that plant down, they walk in on a C4, and Nar playing Trophy just deny that and make it a 2v2. And they need to push and take these kills. Like the beginning of the round last time was just kind of cat and mouse. They're trying to find somebody that was playing downstairs, and then in the end couldn't find anybody. They end up that's pushing on the site, pushing up Astro stairs, dealing with Astro, pushing in after that. So this time, let's see what their intent and focus is. And this time, hopefully, if they go from bricks or go from massacring the site, they don't get C4 while going for the plants and actually clear out Trophy or clear out the bottom floor. Let's see so far. Hopefully, Amp doesn't. It's like Bax this time is the one roaming, not Amp. So Amp doesn't have to deal with getting jumped through a window and losing that fight where he could have won it.
Please, I don't want to see that again. That was just heartbreaking. But he's still in a position where he could play there. Sitting on red stairs, he could provide Baxel some support, but it's from a different angle, so likely won't see that same engagement happen. Also see some late site reconstruction made, this time opening up a hole downstairs into kitchen. That's a good angle, but it will reveal his position because it is made a little bit late in the game. But better have it than not have it. Gives you a good angle through that double door. But Baxel right here, very narrowly manages to bob and weave, dodge those shots sent by Millies, but he's still doing it. He's still chilling in front of that window, and it'll cost him 50 HP as a result. My friend, you probably should back up at this point because Millies is contesting it, and you're not winning that.
He gets shot from the window and then puts his back to the window while shooting the drone.
I gotta get the drone. That's more important.
Anyway, at least now Baxel knows somebody's outside that bicycle window. He'll probably back off. And again, this Astro stairs, it was big contestation last time. It was Not Done Yet. He ran up the stairs and stabbed him in the back. I don't think whoever's there this time will let Not Done Yet do that again to him, because that'd be insane. But it looks like, Not Done Yet is playing the same position. He's trying to go from, kitchen up to Astro stairs. It looks like oh my god, turn around the wrong time and limit. No.
Wow, that's just... we'll talk a little bit more in the post round how that went, because the post round appears to be going the way of Shadow Realm. Another 2v4, make that a 1. Actually, I thought he'd get that kill, but no, it's a 1v5. Even though Jolt is down on the floor, C4 sent up by Baxel unfortunately does literally nothing for his chances in this round. And all it does is maybe scares them a little bit, but most of the attack is settling down inside of Trophy right now. Manages to find 1 kill onto Millies, but there's 1 to his left as well. Now swinging, he's got to flick and get. Ooh, very narrowly misses the headshot. Now we're 6-5. Shadow Realm 1 round away from sending us to overtime. Benny, I don't want to point fingers. I feel like the downfall of that round begins with Unlimited on Astro.
Yeah, Astro could have been the person to deny that push, because you saw a lot of those kills came from the Astro side when they full control Astro, shooting through those walls, taking fights and members on site. If Unlimited had gotten that kill not done yet, then that would force the rest of Shadow Realm to go for that kill Unlimited, because he's the main player to stop the Astro control. So really, I wouldn't say it's all his fault, but unfortunate timing. Really unfortunate timing.
And actually, what I will say, there was also some good play by Shadow Realm. Unlimited was playing he was kind of playing half on Astro stairs, but he was down on the landing, also peeking Brown stairs as well. Shadow Realm read into that, and what they did was they sent a Rotero drone in, detonated it, I think, on the landing, so he couldn't comfortably rotate back up without putting himself at risk of an explosion, and that's when they pushed on in. And then when the Flores drone exploded and Unlimited tried to rotate back up, that's when the Nomad peaked. So that's actually also a really good and really well-coordinated play by Shadow Realm, taking advantage of that position and using their utility to create an opening for themselves. So that's actually really commendable play right there as well, coming out from the attack.
Hey, that's the case. Then yeah, that was really thought out, actually, to try and take his attention away and allow for not Dunyan to get that kill.
But
so
issue here, though, Benny, you want to talk about coordination and well-thought-out play. That was not a phrase I would describe Shadow Realm's play on Aviator Games with. It's very hectic, very slow.
they had to change up plans too halfway through it as well. So hopefully this time they have the full intent and they know what they're going for this time. But this time there's a lot more intent put on this main stairs, a lot more utility, a lot more focus. It's going to take a lot more effort for Shadow Realm to clear it out and actually take control compared to last round. Even the last round, there wasn't a lot of utility on main stairs. It's still the vertical pressure in the C4 pretty much made it a bloodbath walking up it. So let's see if they go for maybe a master bedroom take and actually full push on it. Because last time, this issue was like player in Astro. This person behind these 2 walls inside of Statuary, they just did not want to take this fight no matter what. They just kind of sat and waited and expected maybe something Gusic to maybe give their life away.
Well, if Amp is going to keep peeking bricks like that, he might just very well give his life away momentarily. Thankfully, he's not. Baxel trying to do his best not done yet impression, but unfortunately, neither party takes damage or deals any in that engagement. Amp still getting aggressive, will manage to find a pick onto Shiba, who has died every single round, by the way, except I think the last one. Not exactly having the best game so far, and, well, Amp lines him up pretty easily on that one. One retaking the position on bricks, but flicks a little bit too short. Jolted might have just been face-checking the angle there, but still manages to come away with the engagement, even things up 4-4. And now the problem here is Axel's trapped on an island right now. He's sitting down below, slowly rotating back, and actually there is no presence down there. So now it's much of an island. He actually has a bit of a stretch of land to walk back to the site to.
Baxel return back through main stairs, and you can see members of Team Gusic taking their shields, taking the utility, focusing it towards that north side, as they know at this point what Shadow Realm's plan is. So at this point, someone from Shadow Realm needs to go for that misdirection. Go for a play by study or by 90 and take some of that, focus off of this side to make it more, make it possible for them to not just get funneled in. As it looks like you see Millie's on the 90 window. Nobody's playing it though. He's just kind of sitting there. So maybe someone's going to swing him. And is someone going to go to the study balcony? Someone going to go maybe towards the main stairs as time goes on? Hard to say.
Minute left. Still waiting for kind of a move to be made. There was that engagement early on, but nothing really since then. Aside from the control, Shadow Realm has slowly crept through and gained in their favor. See 2 players rotate over to study. A little bit risky. You are leaving only 2 players outside of Skull window right now, and it's actually one of those players. Oh no, it's the opposite. Kami, who is repelling up to study window, loses the fight to Teddy on the SMG-11. Not a fight I actually would have anticipated. The player I would have expected to take it. Now this is the problem. Millie's the only one left on study window. He can still contest, but you kind of dedicated the body a little bit extraneously to a position you didn't really need. That leaves the push inside of Zombie a little bit ill-conceived as well, and now Millie's has to push on in and try to help Not Done Yet to bring things back. With 1 smoke canister left, we can wind the clock down to basically 000 as it detonates. Millie's manages to catch him off guard, spots the OQ1 pushing from behind as well, but Teddy, no, it's Gnar on the smoke. The planter walks right in. Millies has to go for the kill, but he's crouched behind the bar, playing it so safely. Extremely well played by Team Gusic. An inhuman effort by Millies, but it's still a more consistent, patient defense that wins it 7-5 for Team Gusic.
And in the end, it was Millies trying to bring it back when they were in the disadvantage. He got a triple kill that round, but in the end, it was a 1v1 with no time left. Diffuser on the floor, sitting in the range of a Banshee. Not much you can do there, unfortunately for Millies, but still, Team Gusic, 7-5. What a game from them, and what a comeback on the defense. They just had quite a bit of defense compared to Shadowrun, and Shadowrun, unfortunately, they seem to be stalled out on time. They didn't have quite the decision-making to make some of those plays happen in the time they needed to.
And honestly, that could have been overtime. They had the presence on Study Balk. They had the players pushing in through Skull Door. Just unfortunately, Teddy takes that long angle, manages to win it. Honestly, if we're being totally honest, I don't know if Teddy should have taken that fight. SMG 11 at long range.
He was in Vault and he killed the guy in Study Balk.
Yeah, I mean that's just, not only is that a almost impossible fight to win, he still manages to win it, so that's kind of huge. But they leave the Skull Door attack with only 2 players, which can work, but if you have all those players pushing in through Study, they're not exactly spread thin, but it can be difficult to make work sometimes, especially since they still didn't really clear out that main stairs position or Classical all that well. Did not have control of that door, didn't have anybody on the 90 window, so you allow players to rotate in. They can contest Study, they can contest Skull, whichever way they want, and that's what ended up happening. Now, at the same time, Millies killed both of them, so that's kind of huge. But it was still a round where Shadowrun were lacking in some areas, lacking some control, and that was kind of the story for a lot of the rounds they lost. Having a lot of what they needed, but the key parts they were missing are what ended up doing them in the end.
Yeah, I would say just unfortunately Shadowrun didn't have quite the coordination to make it work on those attacks, and it really shined through when we saw like Team Gusic on defenses were just taking advantage of it left and right. Every time took too much time, took too much utility, and Team Gusic were ready to pounce on that, ready to play the positions, disciplined well. We always thought maybe we were demons and they were crazy, but no, they played a very disciplined game most time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I expected people, spawn peeking every other round, getting extremely aggressive, but no. Ironically enough, the person who had the most kills that game was Gnar on a more flank watch support role, so yes, don't judge a book by its cover or its reputation on Twitter is the lesson that we learned today. But they do still go up, I believe, it's 5-1 now? I always have trouble keeping the numbers in my head. I think it's 5-1, yeah.
Yeah.
So they do still keep an extremely positive record, but at the same time, Shadowrun, they're still at 4-2. Still a good showing for them in that game as well. I would not get worried all too much, which, by the way, we're going to look at some of the results that are slowly trickling in. We still have, I think, 4 games still being played, but Surf Esports have retained their position at number 1, of course, but they are still flawless as well, currently 6-0.
Oh.
You forgot, the only team that is still flawless in this game won their game 7-2 over Asylum Patience, and also Team Mystic won their, Surf Esports won their game over Phantom Gaming. Mystic won their game over Asylum Patience. So, again, another kind of 2 top teams going at it. It was the 4th place team versus the 2nd place team. Team Mystic ends up coming out on top. And Benny, another one that I think is a little bit of heartbreaker for SCL boys. Okami have lost 2 matches in a row today. They are having a rough go at it.
I'll tell you, man, it's a bit of a heartbreaker, but it's quite a bit different team these days. Okami isn't quite the same team they were in CL. It's still unfortunate to see them not play too great in these qualifiers. Not sure how they're going to do, if they're going to make it even, or if they're going to just maybe try for a different qualifier, try for the second one.
I don't know.
It's really interesting to see. But Wichita Wolves, they lost to Wichita Wolves Academy. They lost to Frenchie & Co.
Yeah, so the Dami versus JJ storyline appears Dami comes out the victor this go around. But I do believe the score was actually kind of close. It wasn't exactly
7-5.
One-sided. 7-5. So just like this game, very close one. Again, I'm sure Spiker will be very happy that came away with the win there. But, of course, Benny, we're not done yet. Still have a couple more games today. That's our 2nd best of 1. We'll have 2 more. But again, we're just waiting for round 6 to finish right now. And I believe actually while I was talking, I believe we're only waiting on 1 more game. So if we do go to a break, we might come back very quickly. I'm not sure. But before we go to a break or go to the next game or whatever, there's another sponsor we have to thank, Betty. I'm always used to thanking Mike and Ike's. I'm always like, Mike and Ike's this, Mike and Ike's that. Always giving them the love. They're like the Marsha to the other Jans. But this go around, we actually have another sponsor to thank. It's not a candy company. It's somebody different this go around, Benny.
Is it?
It's what is it? What is it, Benny?
I think it has something to do with what we sit on, like something that helps us, play a video game.
Is it a stool?
No. It's
it a
like a
bed?
it's like a foldable. What's the word? I can't remember.
Foldable. What? It's Mavix gaming chairs. The reason I thought foldable was kind of weird. You don't fold a gaming chair. I don't know what chairs Benny was sitting on, but I don't have any of that. But yeah, they are at least a new sponsor for me. I've not done an ad read for them before, so thank you to them. I actually have a pretty crappy gaming chair right now that I'm at college, so I might actually give them a bit of a look after we go on break. But they are the exclusive chair partner of NerdStreet. You saw their ad during the break. If you look, saw Valkyrie, saw Scump, all supporting this product, and it's a good product at that. All Mavix gaming chairs feature Future 9 functions of critical ergonomics that support gamers everywhere. One of those words that I kind of know what ergonomics is, but I do know it makes you feel more comfortable. And when you're playing a game, especially a barn burner like the 7.5 we just saw, you're not going to do as well if you're sitting in a foldable card chair like Benny was talking about. You'll want something comfortable. You'll want something nice. And if you're looking for both those things, you can't go wrong. You can't do better than Mavix gaming chair. So thank you for supporting the show. And that actually was not a bit, by the way. I actually am probably going to look at their store because my chair is incredibly uncomfortable.
I would say my college chair wasn't very good either when I was in college. It's just some crap. Oh yeah, your face is totally frozen. Nice face, Lynx. Nice face. Oh, they probably can't hear you now, can they?
Okay, I'm back now. Before we go to break, because we are going to go to break, fun fact, sometimes if I type in Google Chrome, it will just shut down my browser. So I'm not going to do that again. And we're going to go to a break so I can dissect and diagnose what the hell just happened to my computer. Until then, don't click away. Don't turn off that browser because we'll be back with round number 3 of the